Hi, you 5 and 6. Okay, so the virtual excursion that you have just been on was at the National Film and Sound Archive. What an amazing virtual excursion, and how lucky are we to be a part of something like that? So, your task today is to choose an Australian film or an Australian song and answer the following questions, which is all written down in your learning grid. But I just wanted to give you an example today of what we're expecting if you complete this task. So, for example, if you have picked an Australian film or an Australian song or an artist, I'm giving you an example of one that I feel has really impacted our Australian culture, and that's what we're really looking for. So, we want a description of what you've chosen. If it's a film or a song, or an artist, that's fine too. And then you need to answer this. Explain the importance of your chosen film or song, artist, songwriter. Explain the importance of what the importance of that particular one you've chosen has had on our Australian culture today, and explain the impact it has had on our Australian culture. And I'm going to give you an example of one that I think is pretty amazing. So, many of you probably haven't heard of this man. His name's Yothu Yindi. It was a band, and it was formed in 1986. He was our first mainstream Indigenous band. So that means that his music was played on the radio back then. We didn't have streaming services like Spotify or Apple Music. We had to listen to a good old radio with a wire that come up to get reception. He led the way for other Indigenous musicians, especially for the likes of Jessica Mauboy, Christina Anu, and Baker Boy. Now, if you actually read into, say, for example, those three artists there, they actually credit part of how they were able to come out of the Northern Territory to Yothu Yindi. Now, he inspired and he paved the way for young Indigenous musicians to become mainstream. Okay, so back then there was no Indigenous musicians that were, popular and buying records, because it was records back then, or tapes, cassettes, no CDs. So he really impacted the Australian culture by allowing and being making the Australian public exposed to what Aboriginal Indigenous people can do with their music. And he has had such an impact on Australian culture, because now you wouldn't even blink an eye about an Indigenous person being played on mainstream radio. But back then, you did. People were like, what's going on? Because, we came from a society where Aboriginal people weren't accepted back then. So, today we live in a society where we know that there's no difference. Aboriginal people are apart, and white people, we all live together. We appreciate their culture. We want to be a part of their culture and learn about their culture. So I think Yothu Yindi is someone who has impacted Australian culture, music culture, and has left a lasting impression on the music industry, paving the way for others. Now, there's a famous song that he recorded, and I don't know if you've heard it, but I thought I might just play it and see if you know the song. And that's the type of thing that we're looking for. We want you to pick something or a film or an artist or a song that you think has impacted Australian culture. How is it important to Australia? What has it led to other people doing things because they're inspired by that person? So they're the types of things that we are looking for. So let's have a listen to Yothu Yindi's Treaty.
Back in 1988, all those talking politicians. Westside easy, Westside cheap. Much cheaper than our priceless land. But promises can disappear, just like writing in the sand. Free, yeah. Free now. Free, yeah. Free now.
Okay, year 5 and 6, if you want to listen to that song, the rest of the song, it's Yothu Yindi's Treaty. I just Googled it onto YouTube. So enjoy your task. I think this is something that you could really, find a song that you really love or a film that you really love and explore it.